Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, March 7th. My videos are getting decent numbers of views, and I'm growing in subscribers, so I should be really happy about that. However, by the end of the year, will I have 1,000 subscribers? Probably not. So, the fact that is the new goalpost is proven to be really annoying. Speaking of really annoying, we made zero progress in the Asian account, and I imagine this stream is just going to go long into a very long post show, so I just opted to skip it. We are in a much better position here. I need 5 victories with the warrior, and I need to get the tavern brawl done. So let's start with that and then see if we can find a warrior deck that will work. I still have a ton of news, but it's hard to keep the balance too. It's hard to know exactly how many articles I have because I don't have time to filter through them and count how many and get rid of the duplicates, but looks like I have a ton of news. PC Gamer has an article not super related to video games, but demand from data centers could potentially push RAM prices even higher in 2018. There's a lot of monopoly stuff and duopoly, triopolies happening with the RAM producers, DRAM producers, and the prices just keep going up and up and up, and the speeds are not going up at the same rate. The speeds nor the capacity, and I don't think you even really need a major increase in capacity for most people. Like 32 gigs, probably more than enough RAM for anybody who's going to play a game. I don't think video games can really optimize themselves to use larger amounts of RAM after a certain point. You could put every single map and texture in the RAM and potentially not fill up 64 gigs. So a doubling from my recommended 32 seems ridiculous. Whereas speed, on the other hand, would be very, very helpful. I'm not going to cover that article too much, though. PC Gamer has another article, the next South Park Fractured But Whole DLC. Mimics a Tarantino film, but set in a Mexican restaurant. Whatever that means. It's From Dusk Till Casa Bonita. Oh, it's mimicking the From Dusk to Dawn. That's a good pick, I suppose. If you're going to have vampires in your game and your game is a South Park game. Let's see. This isn't really video game related, but I wanted to mention Amazon has decided to expand its low-cost version of Prime to include Medicaid recipients. I didn't know they had a low-cost version of Prime at all. Alright, we gotta do something like this. So, how do you get this cheaper version of Prime? Let's see. The experiment was a success, blah blah blah. Amazon normally charges $12.99 per month for the all-encompassing Prime membership if billed month to month, while paid up front. It's part of the Amazon's $100 annual membership. The rate works out to about $8.25 a month. Medicaid recipients will pay $5.99 per month with no annual commitment. Interesting. Let's see. In January, Amazon increased Amazon Prime's membership. I don't think it's a terrible ripoff as long as you're buying some things from Amazon using the Amazon Prime Video and potentially getting the free Twitch Prime games too. Also, like right now, people could go to my Twitch. Go to Twitch, type in Rydo. If you see a channel with 2 videos on it, made by me, that's my channel. You could subscribe for free and give Amazon's money of $5.99 to me, and we could see what happens there as a patronage. If you're not subscribing to anybody else on Twitter, you get like 1 free subscription. I haven't bothered to subscribe to myself and see if that would work, but I imagine it wouldn't. Cast corruption on all other minions. Deal 6 damage. I think I'm gonna lose. Let's see. Discounted Prime memberships include all the perks of a standard Prime account, including free 2-day shipping on millions of items, as well as access to Prime Video, Prime Music, and Prime Reading. I didn't even know Prime Reading existed, and I don't do. Those with a valid Electronic Benefits Transfer, EBT, or Medicaid card can sign up today. Do note, however, you need to verify eligibility every 12 months, and that household sharing Prime benefits isn't available as part of the discount offer. I don't know what household sharing really means in that case. So if you're on Medicaid, maybe you shouldn't be buying things through Amazon Prime. Maybe you shouldn't be signing up for this, but you know, it might work for a few people. And this is more competition for like Walmart, which Walmart is the biggest competitor to Amazon, and Amazon wants to put Walmart out of business to the point where we, in a decade or two, may have no like storefronts at all. With no storefronts in the United States, that's less jobs. Speaking of jobs, by the way, Target has raised its minimum pay to $12 an hour, which is kind of amazing, but it's also, from last time I heard many years ago, Target doesn't give anybody any hours. They keep them at like less than 20 part-time hours, and they may have paid a little bit better, but it was hard to get the hours to make a full-time job out of it. And so if that is still the case, who really cares whether or not they're paying a little bit more? And $12 an hour is not a lot when you're a part-time employee and they're not paying for like unemployment insurance, and they're not paying for your health care, and they're not paying for into a retirement or price matching into a retirement. There's a lot of benefits that are not being included for that higher pay, and that's typically what businesses like to do, is pretend like they're paying people more when really they're finding back-end ways to not pay people. And the fact that healthcare is tied to your job, and so many other things are tied to your job, your retirement and unemployment insurance, is ridiculous. And that's part of the problem with unemployment in the United States too, is that people think that unemployment is a handout, but no, it's literally an insurance that your employer was paying into specifically for you while you were employed, and because of that he was paying you less than you should have been paid. Let's see, there's a game called Archery Blast that came out March 7th. It's a little cartoony, but I would love a archery game. It's single player, early access, and it doesn't seem like it requires a VR or even works with a VR headset. I'm gonna put this. There's 60 challenges waiting on this early access. They want $10.63. That seems a little high, but here's a kind of non-violent game with a weapon, if you can call it that. Let's see. There's an. I'm want to scroll down here more like this and see if maybe there's a better archery game that already exists on Steam. Or anybody in the comments or chat, let me know if you know of a better archery game. I'm gonna put this in here. It's made by Rewind app, a developer I've never heard of, but they have a bundle of a lot of simplistic looking games. Yeah, this could be like a 5-minute experience, and it could be buggy, but it doesn't look too bad. If that got down to $2, I'd buy that game. Moving on. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage. Well, I am holding a dragon, so I'll do that. And then play this. And then do this. And do this. And attack here. There's a game called Angles that I wanted to look a little bit closer to, but no, it looks like garbage. So that one won't make it to the wish list. I need a unreleased early access wish list. I need a different wish list compared to what I normally have. Let's see. Do this. And then do this. And then do this. And let's see. Do this. Do this. And attack here. There we go. Let's see. We already talked about the Oculus Rift being broken because of this expired security certificate. So we have to talk about that. PC Gamer has a review for the game Chuckle, a weird looking artsy style game. They're giving it an 80. It's $10 on Steam. So for a weird looking game that was on my wish list, I don't see any real reason that I need to take it off. It's made by Amanita. It's kind of a point and click adventure style game, although it's more artsy. Like sometimes point and click adventures do get really artsy and less storyline based. Let's see, demon. Just end the turn here. Moving on to the next game I had. Let's see, there's a game that came out on the 7th called Adventures of Hendry. Wanted to look at it a little bit more. Looks kind of like a Super Meat Boy platformer. It's slower though. Like all these new games have no reviews. I'm not seeing anything here that would bring the world about. The problem with any kind of platformer is there's so many of them. Like, it has to be really amazing to catch people's attention. PC Gamer has an article, what horror game creators think about jump scares, cheap scare or great scare. And then the first paragraph is fear tactics, is the title. And the second paragraph is let's play and reaction videos, which I would hope that people are not getting views still because of let's play and reaction videos of jump scare games. I would hope, but it's almost certainly not the case. Let's see, story friendly minion. Let's see. Right. Destroy a friendly minion and its attack to all enemy minions. This will kill everybody except that one guy, which I can do that too, and clear the board. Next paragraph is the state of horror. I kind of would say one jump scare at the beginning of a horror movie is kind of a traditional thing you'd want to do, but when you put it into an interactive experience where it's going to be jump scares the whole time, that's not a good experience. Much like playing the Tavern Brawl and losing over and over again. I think you could, in both horror games and non-horror games, have a jump scare every couple hours. Maybe for video games it's not one every 2 hours, maybe it's one every 4 hours. Just out of nowhere, that even is a little bit something to talk about. I believe Getting Over It with Benet Foddy has an element of a jump scare just in the middle of the game where the rest of the game is not scary at all. Arguably, I would say jump scares work better in non-horror video games than they do in regular video games. The main problem is the repetition. Like, you just can't do repetition of the same scares in a video game. It just won't work. People become immune to it after the first time. Also, a lot of horror movies, when you look at like the Friday the 13th series, that's a horror comedy series. It's not really scary. It's not trying to scare people. Saw is the original first Saw is not really a horror movie. It's a dramatic horror, and with some grotesque torture porn imagery in it, but not even too much of that in the first Saw movie. So, like, the horror movies that get made, mainstream horror movies at least, I don't find any of them scary, and I don't find any of them actually 100% built around being horrific. I find them to be using horror as an excuse to make a cheap movie a lot of times, and then going off to tell whatever tales they want to tell. Let's see. What does this one do? There. Oh, I should have played the coin and used this. So, moving on, there's a game called I'm Lost that has 6 user reviews and is at 57.39% right now, according to SteamDB. And it looked like an interesting kind of walking simulator. Like, there's some nice looking scenery in this trailer. I don't want to get too deep into walking simulators, honestly, but well, half of this trailer was showing the exact same scene very slowly and serenely. So it might be a really, really small walking simulator with not enough in it. It's just kind of a forest area, and then you get to a very repetitive textiled wall. Let's see. Do this. And do this. And if I do this, I would kill everybody. So we'll do this, attack here, and then do this. Yeah, this game doesn't really seem like it's got an interface or anything, or a character. Just seems to be a collection of pictures. And they want 89 cents for this game. Inspired by the movie Maze Runner, I'm launched as a player in the middle of a small forest area surrounded by a large maze. You need to explore the labyrinth and find a way out. These special orange labels are scattered around the maze. They can be activated so the player can understand parts of he's visited and where he has not yet. The protagonist wakes up on the shore of a small lake surrounded by a maze of high walls. To complete the game, you have to get out of the giant maze. Not a terrible thought. Let's see. Time trial, 4 minutes 31 seconds. Thank you for playing. It's a fun game to see how fast you can explore an unknown maze. It was an interesting developmental exercise that could be a bigger part of a bigger game. Support the devs so they can develop something that can't be beaten under 5 minutes. Well, I could certainly see the problem with trying to sell a game that takes only 5 minutes to play. Let's see. Summon a copy of a friendly minion. I don't know which friendly minion I'd want to summon. Let's just race to the end. Let's see, browse all 6 reviews. And like there you go. What is going on with these reviews? Like, it says there's 6 reviews, but the rest are all in different languages. One of them is in Japanese and it's a negative review. Another is in Russian and it's a negative review. Okay, well, I'm not interested in Lost. I'm not interested in a game that... Like, I'm trying to do some mental gymnastics. How could I play a game that would be playable or that would be defeatable in less than five minutes? And I just don't see a way that works. Alright, what do I want to do? If you're holding a dragon, destroy a legendary minion. I guess that only works if I have a legendary minion. Make 2 of those. Next game that came out is called West of Red. It has one review and it's at 40.58. How can it have 40.58 if it has one review? It should be either at 100% or 0%. And this seems just like an empty desert game. Action, indie, violent gore, simulation. How are they selling this game? West of Red is a chaotic first-person shooter that confronts heavily armed players with an army straight of hell and the devil himself. I am not seeing any of that in this. I'm just seeing what could easily have been a pre-bought assets of a desert and a desert saloon, and there was one picture of a devil thing. Let's see. One negative review says, however, there really needs to be a lot more content. Feels like playing Gary's mod. Destroy all minions. Let's see. Let's just play it safe. And do that. And that's the only review is negative for this game. And with the screenshots and with the premise of this game and one negative review, that game is dead in the water. And it feels like that's how a lot of games launch on Steam. And like, I don't want Steam game people who put games on Steam to put up fake reviews. I don't want them to try and cheat the system or something. But I do want them to have a good quality product. Don't try to put it on early access because that's not doing anything for anybody. And let's see, I guess we'll play this. And give somebody +1/+1. And then the turn. Like, you need to have a good launch. You need to have advertisement before you launch. You need to have a good product. Like, at a certain point, Valve is going to do what I assume YouTube's going to do and just start deleting bad games that nobody's buying. Or, I mean, they're already burying them, like YouTube buries so many videos. There we go. Victory. Finally. Maybe I'll get an epic and legendary for my European account too. That would be nice. Moving on with the news, Zen Studios has ditched their plans to patch Pinball FX3 for the Nintendo Switch. So there was apparently some performance issues. Nope, no legendaries, no epics. That was too much to ask for. If there was ever a day where you were guaranteed by like some glitch to get legendaries, I'd probably spend real money to do that. I'd probably like buy at least, well, I mean, you could, if you're guaranteed to get a legendary, you could probably buy at less than 50 packs, get all the legendaries in the entire game, because there really aren't that many, and then also potentially get the gold versions of the legendaries, assuming that part is working. Alright, now somebody's spectating. What? Invite you to spectate. I didn't even know you could do this. Well, sorry. The answer to that, I guess, is no. I need to get warrior victories. Like, I don't. Nobody got time for that. to misreference something. And we'll just try to play ranked, I suppose. Standard rank. The quote is, Zen Studios, we simply don't have the bandwidth. The Nintendo Switch version of the Pinball FX3 received a mixed response when it launched last December, when fans criticized the game's resolution and frame rate, which is a big thing, really important thing, to have a good frame rate when playing a physics-based game like pinball. Some said the game's various tables actually looked worse on the Switch than they did on the Wii U. Replying to one Pinball FX3 owner, developer Zen Studios admitted it looks terrible. A fix for the game's visual was pledged, specifically to get the game up to 60 frames per second while playing on the Switch handheld mode and 1080p when docked. I think they probably shouldn't have made those promises. As of today, in a Reddit thread created after one fan heard the patch was cancelled from a customer support request, Zen publicly announced the patch was no longer in the works. Hey guys, we might have been a bit premature in the excitement surrounding the Switch release, Zen Studio spokesman McLovin explained to the game's patiently waiting fans. We really think this is one of the best platforms to play our game, and we wanted to make it to everyone's liking. Now, part of the problem, I would argue here, is the Nintendo Switch is just underpowered. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pinball FX3 is using Unreal Engine 4, which just does not run well on the Switch. So I think we may see more of this happening, where people make games or cancel plans to make games on the Switch, or cancel patches and end up releasing poor versions of games on the Switch. And that's not something we've experienced on consoles for probably a decade now. And there is your occasional bad port, but a consistent string of bad Switch ports or bad consoles ports hasn't happened since, you know, there were certain times when, like, you'd get Game Gear ports of Sega Genesis games, Master System games that were clearly inferior. You'd get Game Boy ports of Nintendo and Super Nintendo games that were clearly inferior. Completely different games. The Lego Star Wars DS game is completely different than the from the Lego Star Wars other console games. But you really wasn't expecting this from the Switch, but you kind of had to be a little wary of it. Let's see, what else do they have to say? We had sat on this problem, contemplating it for a long time, trying to find a good way to up the frames per request. We found that there was no universal method to do this, and each table would require a lot of separate work. The volume misspelled. We simply don't have this volume. We simply don't have the bandwidth for the graphics and the QA department right now. We really do apologize for us being a bit slow to properly address this. P.S. Check out Son of Zeus, though. We were able to better some of the table's problems in CAM 3-4. So they did say they fixed something. This response has unsurprisingly not gone down well, with many fans questioning why it took Zen Studios to be prompted into commenting. Like all Zen Studio pinball games, you can of course download the base game for free and try it out, but longtime fans of the series downloaded many of its paid for extra pinball tables, not expecting the performance to be below par. You're probably not getting a good experience, I mean, anyways, playing pinball on that screen. You'd have to turn it sideways and it still would probably not be at the right resolution. But you know, Pinball FX has done some shady stuff lately. Zen Studios have. For example, they made me repurchase a significant number of tables that I had already purchased by giving me a discount and 80% off, which is a 20% tax to upgrade from Zen Pinball FX2 to Pinball FX3. And I haven't even played Pinball FX3 and I still bought it. And that was really stupid of me. But I didn't want to end up buying it for more money later. So I would be more leaning to the Pinball Arcade, but I'm pretty sure there is no Pinball Arcade on Switch, and I wouldn't be surprised if there never is. I also wouldn't be really surprised if they decided to have a second generation Switch. I know Nintendo's saying they're not going to do that, but there's going to be a lot of demand or lack of interest in third-party games, and I'm not sure Nintendo is willing to let that happen again now that they've had a bit of a taste of what it's like to recently have third-party and indie developers make games for your consoles. Plus, I'm not sure exactly how many first-party games Nintendo can really put out next year, since we've already done Mario and Zelda. This is what Giant Bomb was talking about this week. In fact, it's like next year is gonna be a little weird. Let's see. Another game in the Surface series called Surface Alone in the Mist Collector's Edition came out today. Surface is a point-and-click adventure game. Publisher is Big Fish Games. I recognize that company for making point-and-click, not point-and-click adventure, hidden object games. And it's developed by Elephant Games, which has a decent number of hidden object games they sell. Like, right now this game is out for $13. It is definitely not worth $13. These are terrible hidden object games, just to be honest. But they do sell. They do work for some reason on Steam. I'd kind of rather play a terrible hidden object game than play a RPG Maker game. Let's see. The Kronos Group, that's Khronos, which I believe is either a very odd spelling or a misspelling of Kronos, has expanded the Vulkan graphics API with developer requested features. Vulkan, I believe, might be the new thing to replace OpenGL, or if I'm misremembering, it might be the what AMD uses. So let me double check that while I'm playing. Version 1.1 expands Vulkan's repertoire with improved developer tools, wide industry adoption, and new specifications for evolved functionality and performance. Packs a number of developer requested features such as subgroup operations, and also integrates a wide range of proven extensions like simultaneous rendering and cross-process API interoperability from Vulkan 1.1. The SPIR version 1.3 specification also expands the capabilities of Vulkan shader intermediate representation, supporting subgroup operations and allowing for an enhanced compiler operations optimizations with enhanced developer tools, rigorous conformance testing, and public Vulkan ecosystem forum. Kronos is delivering on this goal to develop a complete and vibrant Vulkan ecosystem, says ARM engineer and Vulkan working group chair Tom Olson. Vulkan 1.1 is a response to the prioritized industry request and shows our commitment to delivering a functional roadmap for the developer needs. Wow, that's a lot of words. Vulkan is a new generation graphics and compute API that provides high efficiency cross-platform access by modern GPUs and uses a variety of devices for PCs and consoles to mobile phones and embedded platforms. Yeah, I think Vulkan is it might be an AMD thing too, like an ARM thing. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and play this then. And then do this. And this. And this. And this. And I should have played that. Oh well, in the turn. Let's see. Vulkan drivers are for AMD, ARM, Broadcom, Imagination, Intel, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and VeriSilicon. They also have some demo samples for that and many other companies, and it works in engines. Well, some of these are just logos, so how am I supposed to know what logo that is? Crow Team, the Crow engine, I think, the Cry engine, the IdTech engine, the Source engine, Unity, Unreal, and there's a few other engines I don't recognize. Also works on Android. So Vulkan is the future of OpenGL, I believe. Or something, some kind of competitor to it. So they came out with a new version, but also take note that they are only at version 1.3. Which that means there's a lot of evolution and improvement that I feel they could probably do. Minecraft Snapshot 18W10B came out. They're adding more things to underwater as they add snapshots. They now have live fish. They now have seaweed plants. The ocean is no longer this empty thing, which is kind of an admission that they've vastly improved the engine for Minecraft, because kind of the reason why there was so much ocean in most levels is because of the fact that they needed some empty space. They needed a reason and an excuse to not render things and not have mobs going around. So major improvements on mob spawning. Fish makes the game more interesting. Yeah, I would almost certainly, when the next stable version of Minecraft comes out, have to make a full brand new world yet again. I mean, just to see the new elements. They still haven't done anything that is super designed around the concept of improving or changing redstone, and I'm still sort of, I'd be much more hyped with the next version of Minecraft if it did have some redstone elements, improvements, but I don't want it to get as crazy as some of the mods. Some of the mods are just crazy, particularly the ones that are just magical materials, and you're getting fairy dust and mana, and you're just trading things through a magical portal. I don't know what that mod is, but it gets used a lot, and I don't like how it not only breaks the general concepts of being in reality with the other mods, it breaks just the general simplicity of Minecraft itself. Most of the mods turn Minecraft from being a somewhat simplistic building mechanic into an insanely complicated building mechanic. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. A lot of it all just ends in automation, and if you're automating everything, you've probably ruined the game. And that's the problem with any of the Skyblock mods, is once you've automated everything and gotten everything done, there's nothing to do. There's no game to play. And that's what you're trying to achieve throughout the whole process. Gamatsu has an article on Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Store Trilogy for the Switch is coming out to the Americas April 26th. So I guess that would be good. It's the 3 Ultimate Ninja Storm titles on the Switch. The only problem is we just saw that the pinball game, Pinball FX3, couldn't run well. And now you have I'm pretty sure a fighting game coming out, and we'll see how well that works. I don't believe Dragon Ball FighterZ came to the Switch. The Naruto games is another great example of, if Valve is going to get into the realm of renting more movies, why don't they give like the first season of Naruto for free to everybody who buys a Naruto game, and then give like a major discount or a cheap Naruto game to people who buy, say, the entire season of Naruto. That way you can cross promote that. I find it very odd you can buy all these Star Wars games on Steam, but you can't even get the Star Wars cartoons, not Clone Wars or Rebels, let alone the movies. It's just a failure to cross promote. Alright, I can't do anything, so I'll just do that. There's a game called Twin Blue Moons that has no reviews, came out March 7th. What about this game caught my eye? I am filtering some of these games, but I'm clearly using less of strict records than what less strict filtering requirements than what PC Gamer or Giant Bomb has. Very high filtering requirements where they don't talk about anything unless there's somebody championing it to them directly. This looks like a visual novel. Looks like a badly animated visual novel. They're saying it's an adventure. This is the new trick, I suppose, this week, is to not label things as visual novels. Yeah, I don't see anything here that would make me want to even wishlist Twin Blue Moons. Bad animation, visual novel, nothing interesting. Let's play this and do nothing else, I suppose. Rainbow Six Siege just hit its all-time high for player count following the Operation Chimera update. According to PC Gamer, Year 3 adds 2 new operators in the co-op zombie mode. Player count of, let's see, when was this written? 9 hours ago, they hit a player count of 176,856 players on Steam. Which, I suppose that's a really large number, but it's not as big of a number as I would have thought for any game. Like, in my head, I really don't have a clue what a good number of players for any game is. All I know is whether the game can matchmake me or not. I have no clue whether there's 100 people playing Hearthstone right now on the European account, or if there's 1 million people playing. All I know is what's the wait time for the next game. Digital Foundry did their performance testing on Crackdown, the backwards compatibility of Crackdown on Xbox One X. Playing it in the graphics mode makes it look better. There's a lot of things that are still kind of limited, so it's not going to look like a brand new game, but it still looks rather well. And if it's recommended by them, and I would agree with their recommendation, that before Crackdown 3 comes out, go play Crackdown 1. Maybe you skip Crackdown 2. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with Crackdown 2, but it may not be backward compatible. Anyways, let's see. There's a performance mode and a graphics mode that you can run games in the Xbox One X, and so far Digital Foundry hasn't found a single game where the performance mode was the right choice, and it almost is the right choice for Crackdown, but not really. And Xbox One X is still not a miracle maker. It can't change the games if it has a locked frame rate from going from 60 to 30 to 60 or 60 to higher frame rates. It does upscale things as much as it can, but some things are upscaled differently than other things, which is weird. So fire explosions might look a little less textured or more polygony than, say, skin textures of the character. It was an interesting video to watch. Let's see. That's not really news. Gamasutra has a report that Gameloft has shut down Gameloft Madrid. Just a month after Gameloft closed its New Orleans studio, rumors have emerged that the company has shuttered its office in Madrid, Spain as well. And I would not be surprised if this is just going to continue to happen, where either Gameloft is going to go out of business completely, or or there's something more to this. Well, I'm dead. Just lost there. Let's see. This move comes roughly 1 year after less than 1 year after roughly 50 employees departed Gameloft Madrid, some to the quiet round of layoffs and others voluntarily, a source told Gamasutra. Gameloft has been closing studios and laying off its staff members on a seemingly regular basis, as the company often describes as an ongoing refocusing and restructuring effort. And Gameloft, I believe, was the company that made the game that was pushed very heavily by GameStop? Or am I misremembering? I'm about to lose. Let's see. The Vivendi-owned company has either shut down or executed significant layoffs in at least 7 of its studios in the past 3 years. Its Valencia, Tokyo, New Zealand, Seattle, New York, and New Orleans offices, all in all, estimations clocked the job loss as nearly 1,000. Let's see. I'm gonna just search Gameloft and let's see what games they've developed, so I know who this is. Cars and Puzzle Pets and Ice Age and GT Racing Motor Academy, Real Soccer 2017, Paddington Run, Sonic Runners Adventures. This is a bunch of cell phone games. I see the problem here. The Blacklist Conspiracy, CSI Slots, Sniper Fury is probably their biggest game I've seen so far. How am I going to survive this? Like, I kill this guy, it fills the whole field with 1/1 characters. I'm dead. What's this one? Immortal Odyssey, Battle Odyssey. Never even heard of this game. Spider-Man tie-ins, TV tie-ins, Uno and Friends. I guess it wasn't called Uno with Friends. My Little Pony tie-in, Spider-Man. I think they lost their Spider-Man license more than anything. Well, Gameloft didn't make the game I was thinking about, nor are they really doing anything great with their lives and their company. So, good riddance maybe for bad game developers. I'm gonna switch over here, and we'll try Taunt and play Casual. Let's see. Maybe those employees will hopefully not stay unemployed, but go on to create better stores, better companies that make better games. This will be our last game too. A game called Damascus Gear Operation Osaka is now available for PS4, PS Vita, and PC in the West. It's got a Steam page, and they're talking about it. It looks like a mech game, you know, like Gundam, but not a Gundam game. And let's see, once the trailer gets full, it's like a top-down fighting game, kind of like an arena shooter, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen any gameplay at all. Now that what they're showing me. Now I'm seeing a shop with a anime girl character not drawn very well, and a mech in the back, and the trailer is telling you that you have $1 million you have to earn in 25 days. Alright, now I'm seeing gameplay. It is a top-down shooter with potentially a lot of customization and some RPG elements for your mech. Let's skip ahead on this trailer. I think I know what kind of game this is. Unless there's something really popular about the like really popular about Damascus Gear. Like, I don't think so. I think this one catches my attention. Let's hop over to their Steam page. No reviews yet. They want $18 for it. And I guess the only information I could get is it's an Arc System Works game, which makes a lot of games like Blaze Blue, but no real announcement here either, so yep. I'm gonna take that note as it's not a game worth playing. Darn it. End the turn, I might as well. Let's see. YouTube advertising has this article that it's from thinkwithgoogle.com, which is an advertising website, I assume, from Google. What motivates people to watch YouTube? And they were saying it was mostly millennials went to YouTube because they wanted to learn something new, which, okay, some of that is true. Brandon came on the chat and said, hello again, good luck with your games tonight. Thank you, Brandon. The article says sometimes it's fun to relive the past. 75% of Gen Xers choose to watch videos that relate to past events or people. I don't know what the real breakdown there would be and what you really take away from that. Like, with that information, that's just telling advertisers that you should, all YouTube videos that you should advertise on should in some way be nostalgic about something. Sometimes a how-to video is better than an instruction menu. 70% of millennials watch YouTube to learn about how to do something new. I could certainly agree with that. And there's definitely room for, like, the Lego channel to put all of its instructions on video in some quickly, like, scripted animation. Something that could be computer generated. There's a lot of room for IKEA to put its information on there. I got a case for a computer tablet, and it came with a QR code and took me to a video. And unfortunately, that was a great idea, but it took me to a video for a different case. So the instructions did not apply, and it just caused more confusion. Not that there really was too much confusion in the first place. I could have figured it out myself. I just wanted to see what they were going to say first. You know, read the instructions first, even if you're not going to follow them, is a good rule that somebody said once. If you're a sports lover, there's much more to watch than just the game. 79% of YouTube sports viewers say YouTube has sports and fitness video content that they can't find anywhere else. I imagine a lot of those interviews and post-game interviews are things that you either have to see live or they get cut off and interrupted and you can't even see them live on TV, or you have to find them online. Usually I would guess they're online without permission. The sports teams and leagues have been very bad about putting clips up, very bad about putting old games up. Like, how do you even, like, go and watch an old Super Bowl game if you want to? Like, maybe there's a DVD somewhere that's available for purchase to see the old Super Bowl games, but maybe there's just a compilation DVD where you can only see the best plays of old Super Bowls. They're leaving money on the table, clearly. And most sports people wouldn't buy a DVD of the old Super Bowl, but they might watch it again. You might get some ad revenue. Brendan says YouTube free sports, not. Well, YouTube's not 100% free. You can make content where you have to buy or rent it. So you can put up things like that too. Bigger channels can, at least. And for the people that want it, better that they go to YouTube than YouTube's competitors. I'm not sure that helped at all, hitting that guy. Your Gamer has an article. No freaking way will God of War have microtransactions in it. This is... Let's see. So somebody took a picture of a screenshot of God of War, and it looks to me like there are two currencies in this upgrade system. A gold and a silver. That's what it looks like I'm seeing. And somebody asked Sony Santa Monica, will there be microtransactions in the game outfitters for real money, question mark. And Corey Barlog said no freaking way with the exclamation points. So I don't know what that second currency is, if that's what I'm seeing, or like maybe there's something else to it. Just make myself poisonous. Sony has like a $400 PlayStation 4 God of War bundle that they're selling. It may not be $400. That honestly doesn't look that good. It's all white, and it has the new axe for the new God of War, which may not even be a cool weapon when the game is out and playable. And the controller is special painted, but none of it really looks good. I would have gone with a full face shot or a half face shot of the older God of War character and his son. I mean, you could cut right down the middle, the son and the father. You could put the axe in the middle to make a little bit of a cover-up border. Go for something like that. But I would like something more personable than just axe, an axe design on my PlayStation 4 if I was going to do that. But in all honesty, if I was, I like the blackness of the consoles and just nothing specific, because, you know, your favorite game comes and goes, and these special skins and expensive versions are just ridiculous. Brandon said, internet free sports, not lol. Yep. I think I said the last game was going to be our last game, and then I immediately started another game, so this will be our last game before I break up the recordings. Lego World is 1 year old today. That doesn't really mean a lot, since Lego World is pretty much a huge disappointment, and Lego Dimensions, also worth pointing out, not really being supported anymore. Well, it's still being supported, they're just not making any more content for it. So TT Games, the creator of the Lego series, is back to making its occasional games, single player Lego game based on a license. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Black Panther game that came out, since that was a big success. It would be a little late. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Spider-Man game that comes out when the movie comes out. I wouldn't be surprised. I think they're trying to do a reboot of Harry Potter, so if that ever happens, there might be some effort to redo the Harry Potter Lego games again. I'm a little surprised. I guess they didn't do a Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them game. But they are going to run out of things that they can license at a certain point. Well, we are not making any progress at all today. You're just not making any progress. We got the Tavern Brawl done, and we've gotten one warrior victory, and all I can do is play warrior. So I'm going to break up this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live, and I'm going to switch over to the Americas account, because I think we really are going to end up just having a really long post-show play. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. If you want to support me, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.